Pat Lawrence getting a start tonight at the other forward. He's been practicing well of late. Told Norm Sloan he wants to make a positive contribution, so he's in there tonight. Dwayne Shintz is at center. And, of course, the backcourt combination of Ronnie Montgomery and Vernon Maxwell. Montgomery averaging 6.4 points a game now. He's started to shoot the ball a little bit more and a little bit better in the last month or so. And, of course, Vernon Maxwell, as we said, needs 11 points tonight to pass Chuck Person on the all-time SEC scoring list, so we'll have to keep up with Max tonight.
One reason why Pat Lawrence is starting for Norm Sloan tonight is twofold. Number one, he had a talk with Coach Sloan, and number two, last year against Vanderbilt, Pat Lawrence really had a pretty good game. He and brother Joe did very well against the Commodores. Perhaps Norm Sloan playing a hunch, letting Lawrence play. He is a good outside shooter when he's on. Of late, of course, he's been struggling. And there you see the matchups tonight for Florida and Vanderbilt. By the way, the Commodores are ranked number 19 in this week's AP Top 20 poll. The Gators are unranked in the poll.
Kind of a smaller crowd than you might have expected, but then again, it is spring break, and it has been a week since Florida lost to Tennessee. A lot of folks not in town, but it's a pretty loud crowd. You heard when Vanderbilt was introduced, especially when Will Perdue was introduced, the crowd made itself known.
Talk about class. There's a man who personifies it right there. C.M. Newton, longtime head coach at Alabama, now with Vanderbilt. He is regarded by his peers as one of the classiest and best coaches in this league, as well he should be.
Turned down an offer to become commissioner of the Metro Conference and come back for one more year at Vandy. He felt they could go a long way this year, and so far it's been rewarded. They're 18-7, and we're ready to start from the O'Connell Center. Vanderbilt controls the tap, and we're underway. Maxwell comes out on Goheen. Cornette guarded by Chapman. Into Perdue, and quickly Pat Lawrence collapses on him, but Booker from the outside. That's why they call him the Long Ranger, and he puts Vanderbilt on the board with a three-pointer.
Right away, you see what Vandy does best. They get the ball inside, no shot, they kick it out and score.
Now we'll see what Shintz does. The first time he touches the ball, he kicks it back out to Montgomery. Now Maxwell will drive on Goheen and put one up from 15. No roll, but Chapman watches it bounce away from him, and Goheen controls for Vanderbilt. Cornette driving on Chapman, off the glass, no good. Rebound Chapman, and here come the Gators running, 1-on-2. Maxwell pulls up and almost loses the basketball. Goes over backcourt. Off Vernon Maxwell, and it'll be a turnover. Crowd doesn't think so.
Ronnie Montgomery didn't think so because he just didn't go after the basketball with a lot of zest. He thought Vanderbilt hit it. Instead, it's the Commodore ball.
3-0 Vanderbilt. Just a minute gone in the first half. Now the Gators coming out on the ball. Cornette out to Booker. Get it down to Reed down low. Cutting across his Cornette. He misses everything, and Montgomery rebounds on the weak side. Florida looking for its first points of the night. They trail Vanderbilt 3-0. Chapman on Cornette. That's a mismatch. Chapman spins off the glass. No good. Perdue, his first rebound of the night. Now Booker with Maxwell on him. This is Goheen for three. Can't get it to go. Shintz gets up high. Can't get it. Finally does. Maxwell gliding to the hoop on Goheen. No good. Florida can't get it to go in the hole. Vandy is still with a 3-0 lead. They get the ball to Reed. Now down to Perdue. Down low. Kicks it back to Reed. Driving. Turnover. And it goes off. Dwayne Shintz, I believe it'll be Vandy ball.
And you see what Florida's doing. As soon as Will Perdue gets his hands on the basketball, 2 and sometimes 3 people are all around him. They're going to deny him the basketball, and when he gets it, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of people.
Booker from long range, top of the key, running the point for Vanderbilt. Maxwell on him. Now this is Cornette. Booker and Goheen the guards. Cornette and Reed the forwards. Of course, big man Will Perdue in the middle. Now Shintz comes out on the ball, and not sure what the call was there, Steve.
It was off of a Gator, Ronnie Montgomery. It'll be Vanderbilt's ball.
Hard to believe, 17:42 to play first half. A minute and a half gone in the game. 2.5 minutes, actually. It's still only 3-0 Vanderbilt. Cornette to Booker, another three-point shot. In and out. Lawrence rebounds. So Booker 1 out of 2 from three-point land. Florida still looking for its first points. Shintz will go from 17. No rim luck at all for Florida. Cornette rebounds.
And look at Vanderbilt control the defensive board. One shot, and that's it for Florida.
And when you're not hitting, that's devastating. You've got to be able to get those second and third shots if your first ones aren't going. Ronnie Montgomery coming out on Reed. This is Goheen from 15 to Reed. Commodores working the ball, looking for a good shot.
I like this. I like how Vanderbilt very patient with the basketball. They're not rushing things at all. They have a 3-0 lead, and they're going to wait for the good shot.
Chapman intercepts the pass intended for Purdue, and now Ronnie Montgomery will run it for Florida. Maxwell for 3. He gets it to go, and we're tied at 3. So Florida saying, hey, we can play that three-point game too. This one gets away, and Chapman has it. Montgomery on Goheen one-on-one. Now Booker's back there, but Montgomery puts it up and misses, and Booker rebounds. But they'll call a foul, I believe, on Booker.
Well, Booker just pushed Montgomery aside after the shot, and it was very clear. And Vanderbilt, who had been very patient, all of a sudden throwing the ball away, and right away the Commodores will get to their bench. They'll send in Steve Grant. He'll come in for Reed, I believe.
Grant, a 6'7" freshman out of Marietta, Georgia. Maxwell drives in the paint, count it, and send him to the line. He was fouled as he drove to the hoop.
Well, Maxwell said he had something to prove after scoring only 10 against Tennessee. The Gators have 5 points. Vernon has all 5 thus far.
They call the foul on Frank Cornette. That's his first, the second team foul on Vanderbilt. 16:09 to play first half. Florida with a 5-3 lead. Maxwell looking to make it 6. And he does. Looking to get this Chuck Person business out of the way pretty quickly if he can. He now trails the former Auburn Tiger star by 5 points in the all-time SEC scoring lead race. Of course, no one's going to catch Pete Maravich anytime soon. This is Steve Grant who's in the ballgame. Now they get it to Goheen left side. Inside to Grant, spinning on Chapman. Block shot by Chapman. Clean block, and Maxwell running it. He'll pull up from three-point land. Off the front of the rim. And Goheen took it away from Chapman. Booker driving to the hoop off the glass. It's good.
Boy, he has got such a pretty jump shot.
5 points for Booker. It's Vernon Maxwell 6, Barry Booker 5.
Exactly what it is so far.
15:24 to play first half. Schintzis leans in on Purdue and gets the hook to go. I think Dwayne needed to hit a shot like that early on Purdue to show Will that he's not afraid of him. And we'll see mass substitutions for Vandy at the next dead ball as Cornette pops from the outside.
Ken, he's the key guy for Vanderbilt. I think Florida will give him that shot. If he makes that, it might be a long night for Florida.
He made it very well against Notre Dame, and the Commodores upset of the Fighting Irish in South Bend. Schintzis just doesn't get the rim luck, but he took it up strong on Purdue. 8-7, Florida lead, 14:45 to play first half. Goheen, stutter step, no call. Booker from 3 again.
That shot was in the lights.
That's why they call him the Long Ranger, and Vanderbilt leads by 2, 10-8. 14.5 to play first half. Montgomery looking for some help, finds Lawrence. Now Maxwell just inside the three-point line, dishes off to Schintzis, who hits it off the glass.
You see what Vernon Maxwell does for an offense. He penetrated that time. As soon as he saw the double team, he got it to Schintzis, easy basket.
We're tied at 10, 14:07 to play first half, and Dwayne Schintzis has 4 points. Will Purdue yet to score. Booker with Montgomery on him, gets it to Cornette. Here he is from 13 again, and Schintzis rebounds on the far side.
And again, can you see they're giving him that shot?
Montgomery with Booker on him. Lawrence, Maxwell from 13 on the other side. He hits it.
Well, Vernon's double figures already, too. 10 points.
I have him with 8, but here comes Ronnie Montgomery. Off to Maxwell. This will be 10.
I'll tell you what, it is now.
There he is. 14-10, Florida leads. And now the O'Connell Center crowd getting into a little more. Purdue passed inside, and Steve Grant walked with the basketball. Another Commodore turnover.
Dwayne Cinches did something that time that many say he does not do very well. He came out to the basketball. He challenged the offensive player that time and got the call.
3 players will check in for Vandy when we come back from this timeout. Derek Wilcox and Scott Drought will replace Barry Booker and Barry Goheen at the guards. And Charles Mays, a freshman out of Nashville, 6'8" freshman, will come in at a forward spot. So 6:45 gone in this game. Florida leads at 14-10, and you see Vernon Maxwell already off to a better start. Well, he had a good start against Tennessee, but he's obviously going to look to continue this performance for the whole game. And Shintz has taken it to Purdue early.
Ken, I think 2 things have become very apparent in this game. Number 1, Florida is going to give Cornette the shot he's been taking so far. They're not going to let Will Purdue beat them. If somebody's going to beat them, it's going to be Frank Cornette with a jump shot. And number 2, the Gators are looking for Vernon Maxwell. He wants the basketball. He is aggressive. He is looking to shoot. And this is the Vernon Maxwell that Florida fans have been used to seeing. He was very embarrassed after that 0-point performance against Tennessee in the second half. And you can see tonight he wants the ball, and so far he's putting it in the basket.
And that's when Vernon Maxwell is at his best, when he wants the ball, when the game is on the line. Just as an afterthought, now 102 straight games in double figures for Vernon Maxwell. And Florida has a 14-10 lead. So I think any thoughts of Florida maybe rolling over for this game with the conference title hopes gone is right out the window early.
No, I think Florida understands about getting to that tournament. And if you have 20 wins, you're just about a lot. And I think that with that 20-win season, you build momentum toward that NCAA tournament and the SEC tournament. Every game is important, no matter how many wins they have. You want to win them all, especially now when March is around. That means tournament time.
You see Will Purdue, no points and just 1 rebound so far. Came in averaging 18.3.
So far, the Gators 6 of 13, shooting 46%. Vandy is only 4 of 10, 40%. Very much unlike Vanderbilt, shooting 40%.
So now we'll check Vandy's lineup as Frank Cornette comes back in. He's at a forward. Will Purdue leaves. So that'll put Charles Mays at center, Steve Grant at a forward, Scott Drought, and Derek Wilcox at the guards.
And Chris Capers has come in for Florida.
And Wendell Jenkins and Clifford Lett as well, along with Dwayne Davis and Chris Capers. So it's almost an entirely new set of bodies out on the floor, and we've got a foul away from the basketball.
I think they're going to call it on Chapman for pushing off.
Foul is on number 32, Livingston Chapman, his first.
Chapman working underneath, trying to get clear, use the elbow. Ball goes to Vandy. And now Florida picking up in the backcourt with Wendell Jenkins on Wilcox. Scotty Drough's another 3-point bomber. Florida hustling, pressing defense here. Leading by 4. Mays for 3, no good. Capers fights for the rebound, but it goes off Scott Drought, I believe. I'm not sure, Steve. I thought it went off Scott Drought near the baseline. Livingston Chapman did too, and apparently the officials did too, because they're going to give it to Capers.
Well, now they confer.
I think Capers just tried to sneak in there and hope nobody would notice that he was taking the ball out of bounds. Now they finally get it right. Florida basketball. It did go off Scott Drought.
That was the right call. Drought went for it, let it go, tried to fake the officials out, but it didn't work.
Clifford Lett and Wendell Jenkins in the backcourt for Florida now.
CM didn't like it.
Florida moving the ball quickly, but this was stolen by Wilcox. Break out to Drought, intercepted by Lett. Florida running again. The tempo has picked up here after the timeout. Jenkins missed connections with Dwayne Davis on that one.
Hit off a Vanderbilt player, though. Still Florida ball.
And now Montgomery will check back in, so it was a quick rest for him, and Wendell Jenkins will sit down again. Florida still leads by 4, 14-10, 12-18 to play first half. Clifford Lett with Scott Drought on him. Stolen away by Grant, and this is Wilcox. Running the break the length of the court, drove the lane and got fouled by Capers.
Impressive drive by Wilcox, the Louisville, Kentucky native. Just took the ball down the court and forced it down and got fouled.
And
now Shinsis and Lawrence return, and seeing Shinsis return, CM Newton puts Will Purdue back in. And if you couldn't tell by the crowd's reaction, and Eric Reed returns as well. Frank Cornette will sit down.
We'll see if this pattern continues as well, Ken, because when Dwayne Cinches sat down, so did Will Purdue. Dwayne Cinches comes back in, Will Purdue comes back in. We'll see if those substitution patterns continue.
Wilcox at the line where he's an 80% free throw shooter. Misses the first one. The foul on Capers was his first, the second on Florida. Wilcox misses them both. Game remains 14-10 Florida. 12 minutes to play first half now. Lett loses the handle on the ball for a moment, now gets it to Davis. Davis looking desperately for a guard, finally finds Lett right side.
And that's not his home out there. He likes the paint.
Lawrence drives, good drive, he didn't get the roll, but he'll draw the foul and go to the line for 2.
And that's something, again, you don't see Pat Lawrence do a whole lot, is drive. And I think Pat Lawrence understands for him to play some minutes, he's got to be more aggressive. And that time he just took the ball to the hole and got fouled.
Now Vernon Maxwell checks back in as Pat Lawrence will go to the line. Lawrence has not been shooting well from the field this year, just 40%, but like all Lawrences, he does shoot well from the line. 73% coming in as Livingston Chapman checks back in. Lawrence cans the first one, and Florida's lead is 15-10. Two out of 2 for the Crestview senior, and it's Florida 16, Vanderbilt 10. Wilcox now with Montgomery on him. Mays looking for help, finds Purdue, back to Mays. Schintz is fronting. Mays drops it off to Reed, who puts it up on Schintz's.
Again, though, you can see the help Pat Lawrence has given Dwayne Cinches. If somebody's going to beat Florida, it's not going to be Will Purdue.
Purdue has yet to score. 16-12 Florida. Schintz is doing a good job with Purdue on him. Turning again in his face. Doesn't get it to go, but Lawrence fights for the rebound. Finally, Wilcox comes up with it for Vanderbilt. He loses the handle on the ball, and it's fast break time to Vernon Maxwell. Bam! Goodbye, Chuck Person. Maxwell has just passed him into 3rd place on the all-time SEC scoring list with 2,312 points. Purdue misses the shot, fights for the rebound, can't get it to go again, and it's knocked out of his hand. Reed comes up with it. Mays for 3. That quiets the crowd. For a big guy, 6'8", 205, he's got a heck of a shot from out there. 18-15, Florida leads. And the crowd letting Will Purdue know that he missed a couple shots inside on that one.
Got a foul on Wilcox.
Barry Booker returns.
You know, Ken, that's really the first time when Purdue was down there that he was any kind of an offensive force at all. And he, I think, got a bit frustrated. He really wants the ball, hasn't had many shots, and didn't take 2 good ones there.
And now Cornette checks back in. Norm Sloan talking to his bench as they inbound it to Maxwell. Baseline jumper, no good. Cornette rebounds. Vandy trails by 3. Drought could tie it up in a hurry. Instead, he looks inside to Cornette. Outside to Booker again, now to Reed. They're looking inside for Purdue, but Pat Lawrence and Dwayne Schintz is doing a good job double teaming him. Schintz is in front of him, Lawrence behind him. Booker will drive past the screen by Cornette and put up a 3. It's no good. Chapman out of nowhere for the rebound. Florida by 3, 9:40 to play first half, 18-15. Little far out for Schintzes, kicks it to Maxwell, looking inside for Chapman, but Cornette fouled him as he came for the basketball. Cornette cannot believe it.
He's saying, what did I do? What did I do?
He came through Chapman while he was going for the ball.
His second, team 5th.
So Cornette's second foul.
Official timeout. Steve Brent returns for Vanderbilt.
So since that last time out and that little break in the action, not a whole lot of scoring, but we saw some things from Florida that that Norm Sloan has got to like, especially the defense on Purdue, and you can see the frustration beginning in Purdue as he hasn't scored yet.
Think what you do while you're watching your screen and you're watching Florida go down defensively. Just keep your eye next time down on Pat Lawrence and the job that he's doing on Will Perdue, because he's really doing two things. Number one, he's playing up front in the zone, but as soon as the basketball gets down low into Perdue's hands, he forgets about that and he goes down to help Dwayne Cinches. And thus far, I think his defensive play has really sparked Florida and has kept the basketball for the most part out of the hands of Will Perdue. Second thing I think Florida is doing pretty well, getting the ball in the hands of Maxwell, but now they're beginning to get just a bit settled down. Both teams kind of throwing the ball away a little bit. Florida's tried zone. Florida's tried man-to-man. They're doing all kinds of different defensive things to confuse Vanderbilt. Norm Sloan, I think this season, has done just a tremendous coaching job. He has really worked this team, and I think there's been a lot of negative ink about Sloan and how he drives his players, but as far as on-the-court coaching is concerned, I think Norm Sloan's done a great job this year.
19-9 coming in. Vanderbilt 18-7. As we get set to come back from this timeout with Florida leading Vanderbilt by 3, 18-15. Barry Booker has done most of the damage for Vanderbilt thus far with 8 points, 2 3-pointers. Maxwell, of course, with 12 for Florida. Cinches with 4 on Perdue. As you look at the size 21 septuple A shoes of Will Perdue, he doesn't wear the shoes, he wears the boxes they come in.
Yes, he does, and then some. As a matter of fact, I sailed on one of those last year.
We're back to live action, 9:27 to play first half. Florida leading by 3 as Maxwell has drought on him. Montgomery, alley-oop pass to Cinches.
Excellent pick set low by Florida. Cinches free, and Montgomery got on the ball.
I think Vanderbilt forgot that you can do that. They do it so well with Booker or somebody lobbing it to Perdue that they forgot the other guys can do it too.
Gators, by the way, now 8 of 17 shooting. Vanderbilt just 6 of 16, or 38%.
Reed thought better of the shot with Cinches in his face. We'll look for Booker. And now you see Lawrence collapsing on Perdue, but Perdue dips it off to Grant. There's a scuffle for the ball, and it'll be a jump ball. The possession arrow favors Florida.
I'll tell you what, the gentlemen who are playing down low, Chapman, Cinches, and the rest of the group are playing good basketball. They are attacking the ball when it gets down to the offensive zone. They're doing a great job clogging things up.
Norm Sloan, of course, had a week to prepare for this game. He gave the players a few days off, but you know he was thinking about how to defend Perdue in that week off. Maxwell has stopped the dribble, looks for help, finds Cinches. Now Lawrence on the other side on Reed. He'll drive in the paint, put it up on Perdue. No luck, but Reed rebounds. Booker to Drought, he'll drive. Block shot by Chapman, clean block.
I think that just accentuates the point that I made. Florida is attacking every time Vanderbilt gets down in the paint. They're doing a great job so far defensively.
Drought driving into the land of the Giants. Vandy basketball. Now Drought from where he's a little more comfortable, but this time he misses and Maxwell rebounds for Florida. 1 on 3, so he dishes to Montgomery. Florida sets it up, 8:08 to play first half. Gators lead by 5, 20-15. Cinches fronting Perdue, get the ball to Cinches, to Chapman, top of the key. Driving around a pick by Cinches, puts it up and in. Chapman's first points of the night. As we said, he'd averaged 18 points in the last 5 Florida games. Reed moved his feet, but no call. Drought for 3. Can't get it to go. Cinches up high for the rebound. Montgomery to Lawrence, just inside the 3-point stripe. Now Florida will set the offense again as Cinches finally comes into your picture. Got to think Barry Booker's getting a little tired with all this action that's going on out front for Florida. They're moving the ball well. To Lawrence, inside the 3-point line, finally gets one to go. That's good for Pat Lawrence. He has been in a terrible shooting slump, but he gives Florida a 9-point lead now, 24-15. And Norm Sloan wants more. His team leads by 9. Inside to Perdue, spins on Cinches, and he can't get it to go. It spins out. And the crowd gets on Perdue one more time. Chapman on Grant. He spun. I believe they'll call him for traveling. No, they'll call a foul on Grant.
You know, Ken, sometimes basketball is a rhythm game. almost any sport you play, when you get in the groove and you get in the rhythm, things go well. Vanderbilt clearly is out of sync. One of the reasons why, again, I hate to harp on this point, but it's something that is just happening in this game. They cannot get the ball to Will Perdue. They can't go inside, outside. Without him, they're throwing up three-point prayers. They don't have the same rhythm, and they're not hitting with the same intensity they usually do.
Barry Goheen and Charles Mays have checked back in for the Commodores. Goheen has not played much tonight. Sam Newton's been going with his quicker guard lineup, trying to stay with Maxwell and Montgomery, and now Wendell Jenkins, who is in the ball game. Dwayne Davis on Perdue. Let's see what he does his first shot against Perdue, and Will blocks it. Now Goheen, he may have walked, but they didn't call it. Perdue with Gators all around him, driving in the lane. It's blocked, but we'll have a foul. And you can see the frustration on Perdue's face. He got a little angry there.
Well, he's being hounded. I mean, he's got 2-3 guys around him, and what he's not able to do is get the ball back outside because there are just so many guys hanging around him. Again, Norm Sloan and his staff have prepared excellently for this game.
They call the foul on Chapman. That's his second as Clifford Lett comes back in. And we don't need to tell you who's at the free throw line because the crowd will do that. Will Perdue, where he is a 67% free throw shooter.
He's also never won in this building, being from Merritt Island, Florida. Look at the crowd. They're into it.
Perdue finally hits. 6:28 to play first half, and Perdue has 1 point. 24-16, Florida lead. Wendell Jenkins with Booker on him. Now Maxwell has Goheen. Inside to Chapman. Pushing away for Grant, puts it up and in. I'm not sure Vanderbilt has anyone that can play with Chapman underneath with the combination of quickness and strength he has. Mays again from three-point land. Gets it to go. 2 3-pointers for the 6'8 freshman out of Nashville. It's now 26-19. Florida leads it. Under 6 minutes to play now. Maxwell looking for Davis. Davis is going to look for some help. Finds Jenkins. Takes it up on Grant and in. Wendell Jenkins hits.
Anytime you can get points from Wendell Jenkins, it's a plus. Only not a very good shooter, but he shows he can shoot the jump shot when open.
Into Perdue. Davis and Maxwell collapse on him along with Lett. Mays again for 3. This time it doesn't go, and Chapman up real high for the board. Florida by 9. 5:18 to play first half. Maxwell outside the three-point line. Looking for Chapman, cutting to the hoop. Lays it up, no good. Davis fighting for the rebound. Perdue comes up with it. They'll call a foul on Clifford Lett as he knocked the ball out of Perdue's hands. So the hounding of Will Perdue continues. That's only Florida's 4th team foul, though. Vandy has 6. As Eric Reed will get set to check back in for Vanderbilt. 5:10 to play first half. Florida by 9. Steve, I don't know if there's a whole lot more you can say. Florida's just doing what they have been doing, hounding the basketball when Perdue gets it. Without the big man to do the in and out, as you said, the three-point play is not as effective. The shooters like Goheen and Booker can't find the open shot. I'm sorry, am I stealing your lines?
No, not at all. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. And I think if you're Sam Newton in his huddle, you have to be wondering, how can we get the ball inside better to the big guy Perdue? But really, it's tough because he's really being hounded. Wherever he goes, there's Cinchus on him or Davis on him, and then somebody else comes to help. I think what Vanderbilt has to do is to begin to hit some outside shots because they're only shooting 38% or something like that. If they begin to hit some shots outside, then Florida has to respect that outside shot, and then the lane, they open up more for Perdue. But right now, with Vanderbilt not shooting very well, you'll see Perdue get stuffed when he gets to the paint.
Might we see the Commodores try to set more picks inside, maybe with Eric Reed, who's a quick but large player, maybe screen more off Pat Lawrence to free up Perdue?
They are, but what they normally do is they set screens outside. That's how they got a lot of their three-point shots open. They're not really an inside screen team because, again, they got the big guy in Perdue. And you can see he's over there, and he's now being talked to by one of his teammates saying, hey, don't let this crowd get to you. But I know he feels pressure. He's never won here, he's never really done well in this building. And I'm sure being from Merritt Island, he's got friends here, he's got family here, and right now he has 1 point with 5:10 to go in the half.
And 2 rebounds. Of course, being Merritt Island product, every time he plays Florida, it's emotional. It's intensified when he comes here. It's the last time he'll ever play here. And especially after all the taunting he did of Shintz's up at Nashville, you know, Florida fans aren't going to forget him for a while.
No, Florida fans have elephant's memories when it comes to that.
Booker with Montgomery on him, outside Mays. This is Reed who has checked back in as he gets it to Booker down low. Under 5 minutes to play now as Goheen kicks one from three-point land. And now it's 28-22 Florida. Goheen's first points of the night. And now Goheen draws the task of playing Maxwell as they kick it inside to Davis. Davis on Purdue, shot blocked. But Maxwell picks it up and drives the lane. Great pass inside, but it's stolen away by Reed. Reed fell out of bounds, stepped on the line before he could get rid of the basketball.
Look, Ken, you have to give Vanderbilt
6 points for Livingston.
He just challenged Purdue's big man, or rather Vanderbilt's big man, Purdue, and he stuffed it home.
30-22. Florida leads, 3:20 to play first half. Florida leads again by 8. Booker top of the key to Goheen, now to Reed. Purdue underneath waving for the ball, but he's got Chapman and Shintzis on him. They do get it to Reed, though, as he dishes off to Purdue, and Purdue finally gets something to go. His first field goal of the night. 3 points for Purdue. 30-24 Florida, 2:54 to play first half. They're playing the give and go with Maxwell and Shintzis. He takes it up on Purdue and gets the roll. 8 points for Shintzis. Florida by 8. Booker for 3 again. No go, but Booker gets his own rebound and gets it to Mays from outside the three-point line. He's hounded by Shintzis and Montgomery. Booker looks to C.M. Newton for some instructions. Norm Sloan standing close enough to the Vanderbilt players to yell right in their ears. Shot missed, rebound by Maxwell. Shintzis inside on Purdue. And Will Purdue doesn't know what's going on. Shintzis has 10 points, 14 straight games in double figures for him. Florida by 10, under 2 minutes to play now.
As much as Florida's players are attacking the offensive end, they are also attacking Will Purdue, trying to get him in foul trouble. Purdue, to his credit, is not biting, but Florida's scoring points in the paint.
Goheen drives around Maxwell, loses the ball, but there's a foul on Pat Lawrence. Lawrence got him with the hand as Goheen drove to the paint. Dwayne Davis and Frank Cornett check back in for Vanderbilt. Davis for Florida. Will Purdue leaves after scoring his first field goal. He's got 3 points and 3 rebounds in the first half. Ken Tomash, Steve Russell, and about 8,000 other folks in the O'Connell Center tonight, maybe 9,000. They see Florida with a 10-point lead. Reed looking inside, kicks it outside to Mays. Gets another three-pointer to go. 3 three-pointers for Charles Mays. 9 points for the freshman. Florida's lead is now 7, 34-27. A minute 16 to play. Shintzis now with Frank Cornett on him. That's another big advantage inside for Florida. Cornett's not giving up, getting in Dwayne's shirt. Maxwell will drive the paint. Oh. 14 points for Max in the first half. Lead again up to 9.
Very important here for Vanderbilt. You got to stay under double figures if you can if you're C.M. Newton.
45 on the game clock, 29 on the shot clock. Goheen looking for someone to Cornett inside. Bounce pass to Reed. Shot partially blocked, I believe, by Davis. Scramble for it, and Maxwell saves it for Florida. 30 seconds to play. The shot clock is off. Florida by 9, looking to make it 11 or 12 before they go into the locker room. Going to be patient about it. Clock down to 12. Inside to Shinsis on Cornett. Confidently and coolly, he sinks it. Dwayne Shinsis playing like a much older man thus far in the first half as Goheen launches one that just barely misses as the clock expires and the first half comes to a close. Florida with some outstanding defense and some good inside and outside play. Dwayne Shinsis inside and Maxwell outside, shutting down Will Purdue. They lead Vandy by 11, 38-27.
I think in the first half you've seen two things that have been very key. Number one, obviously, Will Purdue with only 3 points. I mean, that's not like him at all. And number two, unofficially at least, Vernon Maxwell with 14 and Dwayne Shinsis with 12. That's 26 of Florida's 38 points scored by Shinsis and Maxwell. So Shinsis perhaps burned in Nashville, thus far at least, having the better of it in a head-to-head matchup with Will Purdue. An intangible thing Florida is doing, I think, loose balls. They're getting them. They're diving. They're hustling. They're really making Vanderbilt work for everything. And I think that's one of the reasons why Florida's up 11, because of just sheer, pure hustle.
Now, if you're CM Newton, what do you say to the Commodores in the dressing room?
I say a couple of things. First of all, we're lucky to be down by just 11 points. We're only shooting 30% from the floor, and we're just down 11 points. You're not out of the game. I think what they've got to do is hit some outside shots. They're trying to get the ball to Purdue, but obviously he's being hounded. You have to take some outside shots, hopefully hit them, and with that, you open up the lane just a bit. They have to respect the outside shot more. Then Will Purdue will get the ball. Florida, though, I think will do the right thing in the second half, continue to hound Purdue, make somebody like Cornett or the other forward beat them from outside with a jump shot. If Vanderbilt can't hit that, they won't win this game, I don't think.
Well, we shall see. Florida leads by 11 as the
this is my league here. I'm jumping center down there now.
Let's see if they try to deny that big kid in the orange shirt. I think it's going to be, they're going to have to double team him underneath and make sure he doesn't get the ball so they don't kick it out to the kid in the green shorts, because he's a devastating outside shot. We'll be back with the second half after this.
Paul West Ford, home of the 3-day money-back guarantee, presents another first in Gainesville, the Paul West Ford Used Car Showcase. Each week we'll bring you the best top-value used cars right into your living room. Shopping for a used car has never been easier. Just tune in to Cox Cable 8 on Wednesday and Thursday evenings or on Saturday mornings to see the best used car values around. The Paul West Used Car Showcase, Wednesdays at 6:30, Thursdays at 9, and Saturday mornings at 9 and 10 o'clock, only on Cox Cable 8.
Hey Gainesville, win a free ride to Daytona Beach on MTV Spring Break Express with Whitesnake. One lucky winner and guest will ride the party train from Jacksonville, plus get hotel accommodations in Daytona Beach March 15th through 20th, passes to see Squeeze and Richard Marx in concert, and take part in all the wildness that is Spring Break. Runners up, get an MTV t-shirt. It's all brought to you by MTV and Cox Cable. Keep listening to Rock 104 for details. Here's how to enter and win.
Register at the Hair Interface, Burdine's Junior Swimwear Department, Danny's, and the Cox Cable Store for a grand prize weekend in Jamaica, a seat on the MTV party train heading for Daytona Beach, and lots of other great party goods. Don't miss Cox Cable's second annual Spring Break Beach Party Blowout, Monday, March the 14th at Danny's West. Listen to Rock 104 for details and your chance to win with MTV and Cox Cable.
Where Florida has done it on both ends of the court to Vanderbilt, leading the Commodores 38-27. They've been doing it offensively. Maxwell with 14, Dwayne Shinsis with 12. They've been doing it defensively. Will Purdue only with 3 points and 4 rebounds, Steve Russell.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're in both locker rooms, if you're Norm Sloan, I tell my truth, hey, you played yourself a whale of a half. They did just about everything right defensively. They denied Will Purdue the ball. When he got it, he was surrounded. The outside shooting of Vanderbilt, not very good. And again, I think you tell your troops, let the outside shot beat you, not Will Purdue with a stuff or a 5-foot shot. The other side of the locker room with CM Newton, the outside shot now becomes very important. They have to open up the half with a little bit of a run here, I think. Hit some outside shots, establish that, and then perhaps the inside will open up for Will Purdue. You have to feel for him, because I'm sure having not won here, being a Floridian, he's feeling a lot of pressure. So far, he only has 3 points. He's not played a very good first half.
One thing to remember is that Florida had a big lead on Tennessee 1 week ago tonight, and to be honest, Vanderbilt is a much better team than Tennessee. Florida did not come out of the locker room in the second half and continue what they did in the first half, and they lost the basketball game.
Well, knowing Norm Sloan, I think he made a point of that. And that gentleman shooting right there, Vernon Maxwell, I'm sure is aware of that too. He had a good first half, and I'm sure he realizes against Tennessee he had no points. He looked for the ball early, established himself scoring. I think you'll see the same thing again. Maxwell wanting the ball to start the second half, making sure he scores some points to keep his team ahead.
So we're about set to go in the second half. Florida leading Vanderbilt 38-27. The Commodores, of course, would be knocked out of the conference race if they lose here tonight. Kentucky basically is not going to lose to both Georgia and Mississippi to end their season. So it looks like the Wildcats will win the thing unless Vanderbilt comes back and wins tonight and over the weekend, and a few other strange things happen. But for right now, Florida has 20 minutes in which to put the Commodores squarely on ice. They lead them by 11. That was their biggest lead of the first half, 11 points. It came as Shinsis hit a turnaround with 7 seconds to go in the first half. They led by as many as 10 at other times. Vanderbilt tied it at 10-10, but they have trailed ever since. Same 5 that started the ball game for each club out on the floor as we begin the second half. Eric Reed will inbound right in front of us to Barry Booker, and we're underway from the O'Connell Center. Second half action, Florida and Vanderbilt. Right away you see Shinsis coming out on Booker with the ball, and as Cornett drove, we'll have a foul inside. I believe it'll be on Livingston Chapman.
If it is, it's his third.
That will hurt Florida, as Vanderbilt, as we said, really doesn't have anyone that can match up with the power and finesse of Livingston Chapman.
And that time down, Pat Lawrence actually was guarding Will Perdue. Shinsis came out high, and Lawrence was fronting Perdue and did a good job of it.
Frank Cornett cans the first free throw to get the lead back to 10. But he misses the second one, but Perdue rebounds. So the Commodores have the ball back, trailing by 10. Goheen deep in the corner looking for some help. Can't find anyone. Now a cross-court pass to Booker. Cornett with Shinsis coming out on him. Now he goes back to guarding Perdue, and this rebound comes out long to Montgomery. Montgomery with Booker on him. And now Maxwell being guarded by Goheen.
Vandy zoning now.
Shinsis way out high. Now cutting to the basket. Max gets it to him. Montgomery, a nice pass, and Shinsis puts it up and in, picking up where he left off in the first half. 14 points for the big fella. Florida's lead is 12, 40-28, their biggest lead of the ball game. Inside to Perdue on Shinsis. Moving his feet, puts it up, no good. Shinsis rebounds over Perdue. The frustrations of Will Perdue continue. O'Connell Center crowd loving it. Passing the paint from 15. Chapman. No good, but Shinsis is there for the rebound. He puts it up without a thought, and it goes in. Some nights, you can just, everything you throw up goes in. Shinsis getting good shots and finally getting him to go, and C.M. Newton quickly calls timeout as his team now has fallen behind by 14.
CM doesn't like what he sees, and that's why he called the timeout right away. Dwayne Shinsis is playing effortless basketball. Everything he throws up, as you mentioned, is going in. And what Florida is also doing to Will Perdue. Watch next time down where Perdue plants himself. Florida is pushing him just a bit further out of his range than he normally is. Instead of taking a 5 or a 6 footer, Perdue may be taking a 9 or a 10 footer. Thus, he's throwing up shots that are not going in. He is not comfortable, and he is really having a tough night so far.
Perdue only got 4 shots in the first half. Of course, he got 2 or 3 of those in a hurry in one sequence where he grabbed a rebound and stuck it back up and couldn't get it to go. So just 4 shots, well below his average, as he came in averaging 18 points a game. So you know he's used to getting a lot more shots than he's been getting tonight. Florida doing a really good job of denying him the basketball. Meantime, the guy on the other side, the other 7-footer, just having an outstanding night. Not afraid to take it up and in, and he's getting his shots to fall. As you look, you can see the frustration in Will Perdue's face.
Well, the point ledger reads, Dwayne Shinsis 16, Will Perdue 3.
After a 19-point performance by Perdue in the game at Nashville.
Look at Shinsis, he's fired up.
Vanderbilt has the ball back. They trail by 14, 18-20 to play in the game. Purdue way out high. Lawrence and Maxwell on him, and the crowd gets on him as well. Booker being guarded by Lawrence as Reed puts one up and misses it. Chapman fighting for it. Finally, Montgomery getting way up high to grab it.
And again, Ken, jump shooting is just not there. Vanderbilt's hitting absolutely nothing in the paint.
Right now, Florida playing outstanding basketball. They lead by 14. Painted, great touch pass by Shinsa, so the shot is blocked by Purdue, and we'll have a foul on Purdue inside. He knows it. He fouled Chapman as Chat drove to the lane.
This is clearly Dwayne Cinch's night. Not only is he putting the ball in the hole, but there he does something he does very well, too. Pass the basketball. Chapman had a chance for the layup. Purdue, the foul. Livingston will shoot 2.
A lot of people seem to forget that Shinsis had 23 against Purdue up in Nashville, so he outscored him. But because Vanderbilt won so convincingly and Purdue had such a great game, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. As Chapman misses the first free throw, and C.M. Newton sees his team down by 14 with 17:51 to play. Chapman 68% from the line coming in, and gives Florida a 15-point lead with an all-net job. Florida keeping up the pressure defensively. Ronnie Montgomery doing a good job on Booker, hounding the basketball. Purdue with Lawrence on him, calling for the basketball underneath. Finally, they get it to him, and he kicks it back out. First time, really, they've been able to do that tonight, and it works with Barry Booker hitting a three-pointer.
And that's what they have to do. When Purdue kicks the basketball out, Vanderbilt has to start burying those things. If not, Purdue will not get his shots.
58 three-pointers now in the year for Booker. Florida's lead is 12, 43-31. As Shinsis looks for Maxwell. He glides and passes off to Lawrence, back top of the key to Montgomery. Florida being a little more patient, looking for good shots. Ronnie Montgomery had his foot on the line, so this one goes. It'll be only for 2. It goes in. Some guys have all the luck. That one was for 2. His foot was on the line. Purdue finally drives and puts one in.
Well, Purdue beat the defense down. Excellent play by Purdue. He beat Dwayne Cinchis down the floor and got an easy basket.
I think Dwayne was probably admiring the roll on that shot that Ronnie Montgomery put up. Purdue got by him for the bucket. 45-33, Florida by 12. Shinsis turning on Purdue. He put it up and over Purdue. You saw Purdue go up high to try to block it. Shinsis just put it up too high. Great hook by the big guy. Reed from 16. That was a brick. No good. Montgomery rebounds. Lawrence, baseline, no good. Reed rebounds. Florida by 14. 16:07 to play. Purdue in front of Shinsis. No good. Gets his own rebound, but it goes out of his hands. Reed coming for it towards us. Doesn't get it. Florida controls. Montgomery across the timeline. Dishing off to Maxwell, no good, but Lawrence taps it up. We've got a whistle.
Ronnie Montgomery with an excellent no-look pass that time. He had the presence of mind going for the ball. He saw Maxwell cutting, and the Gators go to the foul line. They are playing inspired, hustling basketball.
Eric Reed draws the foul, his first and the second on the Commodores this half. And now Charles Mays, Steve Grant, Scott Stroud, and Derek Wilcox check in. Mass substitutions for Vanderbilt. Purdue, the only starter who remains in the game. Wendell Jenkins checks in for Florida to give Ronnie Montgomery a breather. Vernon Maxwell will be at the line.
As for the Gators, Wendell Jenkins. Vernon Maxwell at the line, shooting 2.
He'll be shooting 2 for Norm Sloan.
In case you tuned in late, Maxwell is now in 3rd place in the SEC all-time scoring list. He just passed Chuck Person this evening. Person now with Indiana in the NBA.
Max doesn't get that one to go. Purdue rebounds. Chapman steals. Big smile on his face as he gets it off 3-on-1. Maxwell takes it himself on Purdue. No good. Chapman rebounds, sticks it back up. Shot blocked by Purdue. Not sure of the call.
I think they're going to call a foul on Wendell Jenkins.
They're going to say that he hit
slapped
Purdue's
the wrist
hand.
of Purdue as he was going for the basketball.
And now another one on Jenkins. This time on Derek Wilcox.
Number 13, Wendell Jenkins.
2 quick ones on him, and he returns to the bench. Ronnie Montgomery checks back in. Vernon Maxwell, the next man on his hit list is John Stroud, formerly of the Mississippi Rebels. With 13 more points tonight, Maxwell can pass him and become the second all-time leading scorer in SEC history. Steal by Montgomery. One-on-one with Wilcox. No good. Maxwell is there, and he misses the shot. Gets his own rebound and is fouled as he goes back up. It'll be a foul on Steve Grant.
And look at the 2 guys getting the rebounds, the guards, Maxwell and Montgomery, fighting underneath with the big guys. That's the hustle Florida is showing tonight. Vanderbilt is just flat out being beaten to the basketball here tonight.
And Vanderbilt, not used to playing more than about 8 guys, having a hard time keeping up with Florida, who can keep running fresh legs.